Well, I don't know. Okay, I'm not in a position to say that that is so or that is not so. But this matter that I have in my hands right now was first enrolled on the 8th of February 2024.
As I'm explaining to the court, it might have been enrolled again on that day. It was previously the exact same matter because I appeared in the matter. Was enrolled for trial. It was then struck off the roll. The state then decided to re-enroll it, and they re-enrolled it in February. And my learned friend can stand up and confirm that. So your worship can then have certainty. I'm not officer of the court, and I would not try and mislead the court now.
Yeah, you see, from what you said earlier on, you did not say that the matter was first in the regional court roll and it was struck off. It's only later on that you are saying that. So you said to me the matter was set down for trial, and I'm looking for the date when the matter is set down for trial on record, and there is nothing on this record showing that the matter was set down for trial, and it could not have possibly been set down for trial in this court or in a district court, since it is a robbery with aggravating circumstances.
In the regional court, your worship, I've given the court now all the details. I can even go and print out the appearance where it was in the regional court, where your worship can see it's the same cash number. But as I said, I don't know why we're going through this. My little friend can get up and confirm it's the same matter that was previously stuck off the roll on the trial.
Mr. Taba, is it the same matter?
Your worship, I'm now have to bring a long history of this matter, which I didn't intend to. By indicating to my learned friend that we want to combine the matters, I thought he was going to be amenable to that because he's appearing on that matter as well. The matter was transferred to the regional court for trial. When it was there, it was the accused's intention to bring a bail application. The matter was referred back to the magistrate's court for purpose of bail application. In the middle of the bail application, there was a confusion. There were two charge sheets standing. The one in the district court where the bail application is proceeding, and the one in the regional court where the trial is set. On the date that my learned friend is referring to, the matter being struck, it was not going to proceed for trial because the arrangement between the two colleagues was, let's finalize the bail in the district court first. However, there was miscommunication between myself and the prosecutor and my other prosecutors, and the matter ended up being struck off the roll. The charge sheet was brought back to court 10. I indicated to the magistrate in court 10, let us finalize the bail application, but the court ruled that because the main matter was struck off roll, then the bail application itself must be struck off roll. Then the matter was removed. The accused remained in custody on the matter we called earlier on. Hence, now we have re-enrolled it now. And we are saying our indication to my learned friend is, in all intents and purposes, we want to finalize the evidence led in the bail application to make a conclusive decision to join the matters because they are interlinked somehow. That is all I'm saying. Therefore, it is the state's request. In fact, today, another thing that I didn't even ask my colleague whether is she still intending to apply for bail, because we're in the middle of a bail application when this matter was struck off roll. Maybe that can also be placed on the record that she's not intending to apply for bail, then you know what we're facing at the end of the day. But the state still requests that it could postpone to the 7th for a decision to decide conclusively to join it with the other matter. That is where we're going eventually.
May I please support? The only question that your worship actually asked of my learned friend was to confirm that the matter was set down in the regional court. Trial and is confirmed. So the matter was set down for trial, disclosure took place, and at this point, it's not for my learned friend to infringe my client's rights to a speedy trial.
can't give you the chat sheet if I don't have the code book. Where's the code book where I can make entries?
Thank you, Worship. May I proceed, Your Worship?
Yes, you may proceed.
Thank you, Worship. Paragraph 29.8. The Mercedes-Benz and firearms are handed to Nxele, and Handai item is taken in exchange. Nxele then left with the people he had arrived with the Mercedes-Benz and the grey VW Polo. 29.9. The Mercedes-Benz and the firearms were then used in the killing of both the deceased in Florida Road at the same night. Evidence indicates that after the shooting, arrangements were made to hand over the firearms in the white Mercedes-Benz in the Umlazi area. 29.10. At the meeting, Nxele and applicant 2 Shisela were standing outside the said Mercedes-Benz. The grey VW Polo was parked in the nearby vicinity. According to the vehicle's tracking report, at 23:13, 4 seconds, the grey Polo was parked at Mandlindlovu Road in Umlazi K section around the same time. Both Nxele and applicant 2 Shisela's cell phone records placed them in K section Umlazi at 23:30. Applicant 1 Tabani is placed in the vicinity of Mega City in Umlazi V section through his cellular phone records. At 23:11, applicant 4 Gwabeni is placed in the vicinity of Umlazi D section through his cellular phone records. 29.11.
Sorry, let's afford the interpreter.
We go page by page.
Oh, you go by. Oh, okay, fine.
29.11. The driver of the grey VW Polo alighted and was identified as applicant 1 Tabani. The passenger in the vehicle is Malusi Dave Demande, also known as MJ. Applicant 2 Shisela, in the presence of applicant 1 Tabani Nxele MJ, gave instruction that the registration plate of the Mercedes-Benz be removed and changed, the barrel of the firearm be drilled. 12. The Mercedes-Benz was then driven away. Nxele and applicant 2 Shisela jumped into the grey VW Polo with applicant 1 Tabani and Malusi Dave Ndimande MJ, and they drove away. 29.13. It was observed that the front headlight of the Mercedes-Benz was not working. The Mercedes-Benz was parked in the place in Umlazi. The same car was again used in the commission of the offences under docket barrier cars 5303 year 2023. It should be noted that applicant 2 Shisela, applicant 3 AD, and Mnganza referred to here in above, and Nxele are linked to this docket. Applicant 2 Shisela, applicant 3 AD, and Mnganza are appearing in Durban Court 11 for the matter under the said mentioned docket. 30. On the 13th of October 2023, applicant 3 AD was arrested under the docket in Mayville Cars 26 of 05-2022, wherein his fingerprints were found on a getaway vehicle that was used to commit the matter. In the said vehicle, cellular phones and 9mm spent cartridges were found. The cartridges on the Mayville docket were compared by the FSL ballistics and confirms a ballistic match indicating that it was a firearm from the same it was fired from the same firearm as the 4 9mm spent cartridge that were found on the scene of the matter of the first deceased and the second deceased in the present matter, Parikas 85/02/2023. 31. Bank statements obtained on the Standard Bank accounts of applicant 5 Lindo, where an amount of 133,000 rands was received on the 11th February 2023. The source of the said transfer was identified as being an FNB account belonging to applicant 4 Gwabeni. It was further established from the bank records of Gwabeni that on the 11th 2023 at approximately 1400 hours, he received an amount approximately 803,000 rands 455 between the hours 1700 and 2900. Cellular phone records of applicant 4, Gwabeni applicant 1, Taban applicant 2, Shisel applicant 5, Lindo, Siyabonga Kezani, also known as Ngale, and Dave Malusi Ndemande, also known as J, place them in the vicinity of applicant 4, Gwabeni's home, which is situated at number 1 North Road, Kawisil. Around the same time, Gwabeni transfers monies amounting to 133,000 to each applicant and the 2 other Ndimande brothers held in Swaziland or Eswatini. 32. 133,000 was transferred to applicant 5 Lindo's Standard Bank account. 133,000 rands was transferred to Dave Malusi Demande's Capitec account. 100,000 was transferred to applicant 2 Shisela's FNB account, and 33,000 rands into his Capitec account. 100,000 rands was transferred to applicant 1 Tabani's Standard Bank account, and 33,000 rand was transferred to his spouse Hlengiwe Princess Mkwana's Capitec account. 33,000 rands was transferred to Siyabonga Kezani Ndimande's Capitec account, and 100,000 rands was transferred into an ABSA account. 33. I attached a table depicting the transfers of monies indicating the times when the money was transferred, from which to which account, and to whom it was transferred as per Annexure KP1. 34. During the course of the investigation, I recovered the grey BMW, the grey VW Polo, and the silver Hyundai i10 mentioned here in above. The silver Hyundai i10 and the grey VW Polo had been hired by applicant 4 Gwabeni from a person by the name of Sonwabile Bethuel Bani. 35. Upon investigation, it was discovered that the grey BMW belonged to Mr. Wesley Duga, who had given the car to Mr. Imran Khan for the purposes of firing it out. I attached a copy of a logbook of Wesley and a statement of the owner, Wesley Duga, as per Annexure KP2 and KP3 respectively. 36. Imran Khan then leased the vehicle to applicant 4, who kept and used the vehicle for his personal use due to some arrangements between himself and Mr. Khan. The vehicle was traced and seized on the 2nd of August 2023 in Manzimtoti area in possession of a white couple who informed me that they purchased the vehicle from Mr. Caleb Naidu. I obtained a statement from Mr. Noseworthy in this regard, a copy of which was given to me. I followed up on this information, and Mr. Naidu furnished a statement indicating that the vehicle was given to him by applicant 4 Gwabeni. 37. I obtained a statement from Caleb Naidu, a copy of which was given to me, who informed that during May 2023, applicant 4 Gwabeni brought the vehicle to him to fix as he was a mechanic. The repairs amounted to 22,500 rands. Applicant 4 informed him that the amount is too high and he has spent too much on this vehicle already, and the owner of the vehicle, Imran Duka, owes him an amount of 140,000 rands and left the BMW with him as a collateral. 38. Applicant 4 Gwabeni further informed him that the said owner has not paid him the said amount for the past 4 years and told him to sell the car or lease it to recover his monies owed. Mr. Naidu, as by instruction of applicant 4, sold the vehicle to the white couple indicated in above. Therefore, applicant 4 Gwabeni gave instructions for the disposal of the vehicle that did not belong to him. I was surprised when the applicant 4 Gwabeni showed up in my office with his attorney, the late Mr. Bongani Cele. They both offered to give me an explanation regarding this grey BMW. A statement was obtained from applicant 4 Gwabeni in the presence of his attorney. As they insisted on giving the explanation, I attached the copy of the said statement as per Annexure KP4. I wish to pause there, Your Worship. I will read the statement on record, Annexure KP4, but my colleague can just interpret. KP4, Annexure KP4. Mziwatemba Hevikwaben states under oath in English, I am an adult African male with identity number 88082156100088, 35 years old, currently residing at 1 North Road, Cowes Hill, Pinetown, and currently as the director of Guaps Constructions. Guaps Mining, situated at Emelo, Mpumalanga, and in partnership with BT NG EPS Security Company, with cell phone number 078-389-8607, with the wife's number 081. Your Worship, just before I proceed, I discussed the issue with my learned colleagues that we are not going to read the cell phone numbers of the wives and relatives on the record, Your Worship.
It may be dangerous.
Yes, it may be dangerous, Your Worship.
Dangerous. I support the idea
Yes, Your
of
Worship.
not reading out.
Yes.
But the wife is not
For the
involved
wife,
in
the
this
wife
matter.
is not involved.
So let's keep her out.
Yes.
You agree? You agree, Mr. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Your Worship. About a year or two ago, I met a person by the name of Caleb by chance. I was driving an Isuzu double cab van, and he took a notice of it. He then approached me and we started talking. He told me that he was a mechanic and he services all makes of cars. I told him that I was in a construction business and also owned a security business. We exchanged cell phone numbers and we departed. Paragraph 3. After a few weeks, I contacted Caleb and asked him to repair one of my vehicles, which he did. After that instance, I took all my vehicles, which was out of warrant, to him for service and repairs. I liked him because his prices were reasonable and affordable. Caleb's cell phone number and his workshop is in Chatsworth. I know a person by the name of Dave Zuma with a cell phone number. Dave Zuma used to advertise vehicles on his WhatsApp. In year 2021, I saw a CX-90 black Volvo advertised on his WhatsApp. I was interested in the vehicle and contacted him. We made arrangements to meet so that I could see the vehicle. Dove told me to meet him at 12th Avenue in Morningside. I proceeded to 12th Avenue and met him at cul-de-sac on the 12th Avenue. Whilst there, Dove called another person and Dove told me that this person will be coming with a Volvo. We waited for about 10 minutes and I noticed the black Volvo turning into 12th Avenue. The vehicle stopped next to us and I noticed the Indian male jumped off the Volvo using a Muslim outfit. He introduced himself as Imran to me. We spoke. He told me that the Volvo was owned by the bank, but if I pay 450,000 rands, the vehicle will be paid off. I knew that this was a bargain because the vehicle is worth around 1.5 million rands. Imran told me that I must pay 150 in 3 months or pay monthly installments of 18,500 rands per month. Right there and then, I told him I wanted the vehicle. Imran told me that I must pay Dove a commission of 10,000 rands and the remainder of 140,000 rands must be paid into his account. He gave me his FNB account number and Dove gave me his Capitec account number. I transferred the monies same time to their accounts from my Standard Bank account, which is my business account for construction businesses. We waited till the monies were cleared. Then I took possession of the Volvo. He told me that I would get the logbook once the balance of monies were received.
Since this involves him only. Your Worship, I'm instructed by the accused that it's not necessary to, yes.
Okay, fine.
Well, it purports to be his statement, so we accept.
Okay, thank you. Proceed, please. Thank you.
few days later, I was driving the Volvo to Emelo. Whilst en route, the Volvo broke down just after Howick. I called Imran and told him what had happened. He told me that I must take the car to Volvo PMP since the car was still under warranty. I then towed the vehicle to PMP Volvo and booked it in under my name. They told me that they were going to check what was wrong with the vehicle and give me a call. Volvo got in contact with me and told me that the car was out of warranty and the repairs to the vehicle must be paid in cash. I contacted Imran and he told me that he would communicate with Volvo. I told Imran that I needed another car to use while the Volvo was being repaired. Imran promised to give me another car, but he didn't adhere to his promises. I contacted him for a few months to get my monies back. Imran started to avoid me. In September or October 2022, Dove contacted me and told me that he had a BMW for me. I told him to bring the car to my home. Dove told me to give him 40,000 rands cash deposit and pay 9,800 rands in installments. He told me that the car belongs to Imran. Once he told me that, I knew it was my chance to get my monies out of Imran since he owed me 150,000 rands for the Volvo. I paid 40,000 rands into Dove's Capitec account and told him to bring the BMW to my home. Dove came to my home with a grey 520D BMW. I noticed that the back bumper was broken off, the car had dents, the right side mirror was out. After I took possession of the BMW 520D with the registration number ND300731, I told Dove that I was not going to pay Imran any monies and I was going to take this BMW as compensation for my monies owed to me. The next day, I took the car for repairs to Pest Panel Peters in Pinetown. He replaced the back bumper, repaired the dents and scratches, painted the rims black and tinted the windows. I paid 35,000 rands for the repairs. After a month or two, I was given back the car. Less than a week later, the gearbox broke. I took it to RDG in Pinetown for repairs. The vehicle was booked in for a month and it costed me 74,000 rands for repairs. I then started using the vehicle for my personal use. In May 2023, I then had a problem with the transmission and the diff. I took the vehicle to Caleb for repairs. He repaired the vehicle and came with a bill of 22,000 rands. I told Caleb that I was sick of this vehicle and that he can do whatever he wants to do with this vehicle to recover his money since the vehicle was not on my name anyway. Caleb then took the possession of the vehicle on Wednesday, the 2nd of August, 2023. Caleb called me and told me that the police had seized the motor vehicle. On Thursday, I went to the police and told them how I came in possession of the BMW 520D with the registration number ND300731. I gave my statement to the police on Friday, the 4th of August, 2023, signed, Your Worship, by the applicant. If I may proceed also, Worship, to the main one. Thank you, Worship. 39. After Annexure KP4 was obtained, it was later established that applicant for Kwabene was already in possession of Caleb Naidu and Mr. Nozworth's statement prior to him showing up in my office and finishing his statement. 40. My team and I are of the view that the available evidence contained in Police Docket Barrier Case 8502-2023 proves that the suspects Siyabonga Gezani Ndimande, also known as Ngale, Dave Malusi Ndimande, also known as MJ, Lindokuhle Mhlaliseni Ndimande, also known as Lindo Applicant 5, Lindokuhle Tabani Mkhwanazi Applicant 1, also known as Tabani, Edimieza, also known as Applicant 3, and Mzwethemba Heavy Kwabeni, Applicant 4, conspired to unlawfully and intentionally murder the deceased. The evidence is strong and there are good prospects of success that will support a conviction of 2 counts of murder and other charges mentioned in the charge sheet against the suspect. 41. Siyabonga Gezani Ndimande, also known as Ngale, and Dave Malusi Ndimande, also known as Jay, were arrested in Eswatini on the Saturday, 24th of February 2024, around 4 o'clock in the morning. Lindo Kuhle Mhlaliseni Demand, also known as Lindo, had left Eswatini prior to police arrival. Arrest of the applicants. 42. Applicant 1 Tabane was initially arrested under the docket Amanzim Tuti Case 126 of 11/2022. He applied for his release on bail. The state opposed same. He was granted bail as indicated in his affidavit. His arrest for this matter is discussed later in this affidavit. My team and I deny that he was assaulted during the initial and the latest arrest. 43. At the time of his initial arrest, he was interviewed regarding the Manzim Tuti matter. No reference was made in that interview for this present matter. No confession was made by applicant 1 Tabane in any of these matters. 44. Applicant 2 Shisela was arrested and charged under docket Beria Case 5303 of 2023. It is explained later in this affidavit how he was arrested in Gauteng area. My team and I did not assault him. He was very cooperative at the time. He even made a confession to the murder charges under that docket to a commissioned officer based in Gauteng who is unknown to us and not linked to the investigation of any of the matters my team and I are investigating. 45. What is mentioned in his affidavit before this honorable court regarding the taxi violence, the killing of his family members, and the revenge attacks is indicated in the said confession. 46. In the current matter, he was arrested whilst in custody for the matter mentioned here in above. He was already legally represented. There were no assaults, torture, or threats upon him. 47. In relation to applicant 380, it has been indicated how he was initially arrested for unlawful possession of a firearm and also under the Mayville docket. He, for this matter and the Barrier Case 5303 year 2023 matter, was arrested while in custody for the Mayville matter. He was already legally represented. He was never assaulted, threatened, or tortured during the interviews for the different matters. 48. The arrest of applicant 4 Gwabeni is also discussed later in this affidavit. He was also never assaulted, threatened, or tortured in any manner. My team and I further deny that during the raid of applicant 4 Gwabeni's house, people were assaulted and or threatened. Entry was gained in a lawful manner as usually used when looking for a suspect in order to arrest. 49. Applicant 5 Lindo was, as discussed later in this affidavit, thought to be in Swaziland at the time the warrant of the arrest of the applicants were applied for. He formed a part of the request to Eswatini for the provisional arrest of those believed to have been there. He was later traced to his home where he could not be found. My team and I deny threatening his mother and or showing her a place or a grave where he will be buried if killed. He was also never assaulted, threatened, and or tortured in any manner. Evidence against the applicants. Applicant 1, Lindokuhle Tabane Mkhwanazi, 50. The shooting scene was attended by the local criminal record center members, and they, amongst other exhibits, uplifted 6 9mm cartridge cases, 2 from one firearm and 4 from another firearm. This is consistent with the video footage where the suspect is seen with pistols. 51. The state is in possession of witness statements implicating the applicant in the commission of this offense. The witness and the scientific evidence indicate that the applicant was present when the white Mercedes and the firearms were handed back after the murders were committed. The evidence further suggests that Malusi Dave Mj is the first shooter who actually fired shots at the first deceased, aka 52. The current analysis of the cellular phone record suggests that shortly before the shooting of the deceased, the occupants in the grey VW Polo, after it dropped off applicant 5 Lindo outside the Wish restaurant, were Ngele and applicant 2 Shisela. 2 occupants, The occupants in the white Mercedes-Benz were applicant 1 Tabani, applicant 4 Gwabeni and MJ. 53. The applicant's cellular phone records place him in the vicinity of Jacobs when the getaway vehicle, the white Mercedes-Benz, and the firearms used were picked up. Thereafter, the vicinity of the crime scene during the commission of the offense, and at Umlazi when the Mercedes and the firearms were returned after the murder. The applicant's cellular phone records place him in the vicinity of the crime scene at 2200 hours 17 minutes 50 seconds. The murder occurred at 2200 hours 21 minutes 7 seconds. 54. The applicant also received a sum of 133,000 rands on the 11th of February 2023 at the same time, and together with his co-accused and other individuals linked to this case. 100,000 was transferred into his bank account and 33,000 was transferred into his wife Lengwe Mkwanazi's bank account. The cash was transferred from the applicant's for Mzwetemba Evikwabeni FNB account on the 11th of February. 55. Based on what is stated here in above, the state has a prima facie case against the applicant. There are no exceptional circumstances present warranting his release on bail. Applicant 2, Lindani Zenzele Shisela Ndimande. 56. The state is in possession of a witness statements implicating the applicant in the commission of this offense. The witness and the scientific evidence indicate that the applicant was present when the white Mercedes-Benz and the firearms were picked up at Jacobs prior to the murder and handed back in Umlazi after the murder. The applicant's cellular phone records place him in the vicinity of the crime scene at 2200 hours 19 minutes and 6 seconds. The murder occurred at 2200 hours 21 minutes and 7 seconds. 57. There is evidence implicating applicant 2 Shisela as a person who gave instructions how the firearms should be dealt with after the shooting, and that the removal of the number or registration plate of the white Mercedes-Benz when the firearms and the vehicle were returned. 58. The applicant's cellular phone records place him in the vicinity of Jacobs when the getaway vehicle, the white Mercedes-Benz, was picked up. Thereafter, at the vicinity of the crime scene during the commission of the offense, and at Umlazi when the Mercedes-Benz and the firearms were returned after the murder. 59. The applicant, together and at the same time with his co-accused and the demanded brothers in Swaziland, received a sum of 133,000 into his bank accounts on the 11th of February 2023, the day after the murder. 100,000 was transferred into his FNB account and 33,000 was transferred into his Capitec account. The cash was transferred from applicants' forms Mzwetemba Evikwabeni FNB account on the 11th February 2023. 60. Based on what is stated here in above, the state has a prima facie case against the applicant. There are no exceptional circumstances present warranting his release on bail. Applicant 3, Sianda Edimiers. 61. The state is in possession of witness statements implicating the applicant in the involvement of this offense. The witnesses state that the applicant had supplied the firearms in the white Mercedes-Benz to his co-accused prior to the murder. 62. The applicant was conducted by Siyabonga Gezani Demand, also known as Ngale, at approximately 2000 hours 2 minutes 48 seconds, whereby a request and the subsequent arrangements were made for the white Mercedes-Benz and the firearms to be handed over to Ngale at the Jacobs off-ramp. 63. On the 21st of April 2023, I was informed that he was arrested under docket Pegitemba Case 138-04-2023 for unlawful possession of a Norinco pistol with the serial numbers filed off. He was arrested a few months after the killing of both deceased, and after the Mercedes-Benz and the murder weapons were returned back to him. This firearm was forwarded to Forensic Science Laboratory Ballistics, and it was established that the said Norinco pistol found in his possession is positively and ballistically linked to the 2 nickel spent cartridges found next to the first deceased Keenan Jared Forbes, also known as AKA. 64. On the 13th of October 2023, a Demieza was arrested on the Mayville case 2605-2022, wherein his fingerprints were found on a getaway vehicle that was used to commit the murder. In the said vehicle, cellular phones and 9mm pen cartridges were found. The cartridges found on the Mayville docket were compared by the FSL ballistics and confirms a ballistic match indicating that it was fired from the same firearm as the 4 9mm pen cartridges that were found on the scene of the murder of the first Keenan Jared Forbes, aka, and the second Tabelo Eugene Mutswane TIBZ, deceased in Beria case 8502-2023. 65. Based on what is stated here in above, the state has a prima facie case against the applicant. There are no exceptional circumstances present warranting his release on bail. Applicant 4, Mzwethemba Heavy Kwabeni, 66. The grey BMW with registration ND30731 that followed AKA and his entourage from King Shaka Airport to the Hilton Hotel was in possession of applicant 4 at the time. The evidence indicates that he was the driver at the time. His cellular phone records is also consistent with the movement of the BMW as well as a visual payment of the parking. The vehicle was seized and statements were obtained from witnesses implicating applicant 4 as being in possession of the grey BMW at the time of the incident. 67. He paid for a parking at the airport using his visual card around the same time AKA was leaving the airport. The BMW can be seen on video footage following AKA through the airport toll gate and can also be seen on footage passing the Hilton Hotel in seconds prior to the arrival of AKA and his entourage. The applicant's cellular phone records consist with him being at the airport and Hilton Hotel. 68. The applicant's cellular records place him in the vicinity of Jacobs when the getaway vehicle, the white Mercedes-Benz, and the firearms were picked up. Thereafter, at the vicinity of the crime scene during the commission of the offense, and at Umlazi when the Mercedes-Benz and the firearms were returned after the murder. The applicant's cellular phone records place him in the vicinity of the crime scene at 2200 hours, 17 minutes, and 50 seconds. The murder occurred at 2200 hours, 21 minutes, and 7 seconds. Applicant 4 Gwaben also used his visual card at around 2300 hours, 25 minutes at Umlazi Caltex Nela Kahle filling station situated in Umlazi W section, which is close to where the vehicles were returned. 69. Evidence collected also implicates applicant 4 as the person who hired the grey VW Polo with registration number NUR 59728 and the silver Hyundai i10 with registration number NUR 38078 during the relevant times of these incidents. Both vehicles can be placed at Jacobs off-ramp. The coordinates for the vehicles place them in close proximity with each other. When the white Mercedes-Benz and the firearms were handed over, the Polo was used as a spotter vehicle in this case. 70. It was further established from the bank records of applicant 4 Kwabeni that on the 11th of February 2023 at approximately 1400 hours, he received an amount of 803,000 rands, 455 rands. Cellular phone records of applicant 4 show that prior to the money being deposited, a call is made by him to a number linked to Mr. Sydney Mfunda Caba. Shortly after this call, an amount of 803,455 rand is transferred to the bank account of the applicant. The bank statements are attached to in his affidavit, but not showing the period of these transactions. 71. The money was transferred from the bank account of the company, Bright Circle Pty Ltd. According to the company records, Mr. Sidney Mfundacaba is the sole director of this company. When the money was transferred, a reference was used as consult. This, we are of the view, was done to disguise the nature of the funds, as same is viewed to be payment for the shooting. My team and I are currently investigating the source of this and any other funds that may have been used for the planning and execution of these offenses. 72. Further, when applicant transferred these amounts as indicated herein above and herein under, he used the reference dividends. His company records do not indicate that any of the accused and then demanded brothers in Eswatini were shareholders in any of his companies. Therefore, they were not entitled to any dividends. We are of the view that this reference was used to disguise in order to hide the nature and the source thereof, hence the state preferred charges of money laundering. 73. The same day, around 1800 hours 22 minutes, Gwabeni transfers monies amounting to 665,000 rands to applicant 1, applicant 2, applicant 5, and 2 other suspects. 133,000 rands was transferred to Lindokuhle Mhlaliseni Demander's bank account. 133,000 rands was transferred to Dave Malusi Demander's bank account. 100,000 was transferred to Lindani Zenzelen Demander's FNB account, and 33,000 rands into his Capitec account. 100,000 was transferred to Lindokuhle Tabani Mkwanazi's Standard Bank account, and 33,000 was transferred to his spouse, Hlengwe Princess Mkwanazi's account. 33,000 rands was transferred to Siyabonga Gezani Demander's Capitec account, and 100,000 rands was transferred into an ABSA account. The remaining cash of 138,455 was retained by the applicant 4. Applicant 4 on the same day then transferred 96,000 rands in favor of St. Benedict School, where one of his children is attending. In the view of the analysis of all the applicants' accounts in this relevant period and that of applicant 4, this is the first large amount that is transferred to his account by the said company. There is no evidence at our disposal indicating any form of services he might have rendered to this company. 75. Based on what is stated herein above, the state has a prima facie case against the applicant. There are no exceptional circumstances present warranting his release on bail. Applicant 5, Lindokuhle Mhlaliseni Lindon Demand. 76. At around 1600 hours 39 minutes, Lindokuhle Mhlaliseni Demand cellular phone records place him in the vicinity of Shark Spot in Umhlanga, which is close to Hilton Hotel. According to the tracking reports of the grey VW Polo, the registration number NUR 59728, which was used as a spotter vehicle, was at Umhlanga Rocks Drive at 1600 hours 40 minutes from the above. It can be determined that Lindokuhle Demand was in the Polo that passed the Hilton Hotel. 77. The applicant's cellular phone records place him in the vicinity of Jacobs when the getaway vehicle, the white Mercedes, and the firearms were picked up thereafter at the vicinity of the crime scene during the commission of the offense. The applicant was dropped off by a grey VW Polo at Wish Restaurant at approximately 2100 hours 17 minutes. The applicant is captured on CCTV footage entering the restaurant and having a meal at the restaurant while AKA was inside the restaurant. He chose a spot where AKA and those in his company were in his sight. This is indicated on CCTV footage where he had to change seats while inside the restaurant. The applicant thereafter used his standard bank card to pay for his meal and drinks. He is also seen busy on his cellular phone while eating and looking at the direction of AKA and those in his company. 79. During the shooting outside the restaurant, other people ran away while others went outside to look. He remained inside and not shaken like others were. The applicant's cellular phone records places him in the vicinity of the crime scene between 2100 hours 17 minutes and 2200 hours 32 minutes 80. The applicant also received a sum of 133,000 rands into his bank account on the 11th of February 2023, the day after the murder. The said bank account was opened by the applicant on the morning of the 10th of February 2023, the day of the murder. The cash was transferred from applicant's forms with Temba Heavy Gwabeni's FNB account on the 11th February 2023, 81. Based on what is stated here in above, the state has a prima facie case against the applicant. There are no exceptional circumstances present warranting his release on bail. As it pleases the court, your worship, I can see now is 5-1. If we may request the court, at least at this stage, your worship, we take a lunch adjournment up until we come back, your worship.
Not even halfway.
I'm telling you, your worship.
So I foresee a situation where we may not finish the state's case today. Can we perhaps agree to shorten our lunch and come back earlier, if that is not going to inconvenience other people, so that we can at least finalize the state's case? That's a proposal.
I'm not a pessimist, but an optimist with reservations. With my instructing attorneys, we have been looking carefully at the affidavit deposed to by the investigating officer. Even if we were to abbreviate our lunch adjournment, being an optimist with reservations, I doubt if we will be done with the state evidence today.
Yeah, no, that's we're not even halfway. So what are you saying, Mr. Mlojo?
Yes, as parties, we will try to put our heads together, but we may have maybe a 45-minute adjournment to accommodate that aspect, so that we can also look at the possibility of other dates cannot be excluded, Your Worship.
But can we at least agree at starting at 1:45 instead of 2 o'clock? Agreed?
I have no problem, Lord.
Okay.
We agree.
Right. Let's adjourn until 1:45 then.